this month of February, we will be working towards breaking down the practice of Shalamba Shirshasana, which is headstand. Top of the head, headstand, right? So there's a lot of different ways to practice headstand. The one that I find most accessible and really what the teachings, the foundations of yoga asana suggest are starting with Shalamba, which is the support of the elbows and the hands interlaced like a little basket at the back of your head. So Shalamba means support. Shirsha or Shirshasana means head. So anytime you see asana at the end of something, that's the posture. So Shirshasana means head, so headstand. This is a practice that requires a healthy neck, and it's advised against if you have issues with blood pressure regulation. So if you have high blood pressure or if you have low blood pressure, the advice is to not have a headstand practice. So if that is you, I will give you other options to explore aside from Shalamba Shirshasana. And with that said, we will get started in a seat. You know, one more thing. Okay, I've said two things, but three things really. I'd like you to have some specific props today. A blanket or a towel, and a block or a book, something that you can use like you would use a yoga block. So that could be, right, a book, or you could even fold up a towel and like into a little block-like shape. So go ahead and grab those props and meet me on your mat in a seated position. Okie dokie. I will do the same. Whatever is a comfortable seat for you today. You can sit in hero's pose with the shins down, tops of the feet down, or you could sit in a cross-legged seat. Whatever's comfortable. So we've been working in pranayama to our asana, and we will continue having pranayama practice. Today we'll start off with pranayama before we do any asana at all. So we'll do the 3 cycles of breath of fire, interspersed with Surya Vedana, which is like a half Nadi Shodhana. So Surya means sun, Vedana is like switching from side to side. So just to remind you, the inhale is on the right, you're closing your left nostril, and the exhale is on the left. And that's all you're gonna do, one round of that in between 60 seconds of breath of fire. Just a brief reminder, breath of fire, it's important that the spine is upright, comfortable, and focusing the attention and awareness on the exhalation. The inhale happens automatically. So it's like you're forcing the navel to snap back into the spine as the breath comes out through either the nose or the mouth. It doesn't matter which. Technically, there are 2 different practices, but I suggest you do what is most accessible. Like if your nose is stuffed up, maybe you want to breathe out through your mouth. All right, so sit up nice and tall. Just take a few neutral breaths. So for you to close your eyes, I like to, when practicing pranayama, start to draw the awareness inward, focusing the attention on the breath. One more neutral breath here. And now we'll inhale to begin breath of fire. You can place your hands on the belly if you like, or rest the hands on the thighs. Begin when you're ready. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Right hand up to the crescent of the nose, closing left nostril, inhale through the right. Close right, exhale left. Round 2, breath of fire. Inhale to begin. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Right hand up to the crescent of the nose, closing left nostril, inhale right. Close right, exhale left. Last round. Inhale to begin, breath of fire. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Last round is Surya Bhavana, closing left nostril, inhaling right. Close right, exhale left. Release your right hand, keep the eyes closed, breathe in and out through both nostrils. Let the sensation wash up and down the torso, length of the spine, relaxing the shoulders, relaxing the jaw. Take in your sense, your new sense of oxygen and blood flow. Bow the chin into the chest. Place your hands together at your heart. Deep breath in, deep breath out. Blink the eyes open. Take in the space around you. Arrive into your practice, onto your mat. We'll sing the sound of Om together to begin. Big breath in. Good. So we'll come off of our props. We'd like you to keep whatever you're using for your block, whether it's a book or a folded towel, within hand's reach. Whatever you're sitting on, set that off to the side. Your blanket, we won't use that until later on in class, so you can set that off to the side as well. So we'll come to hero's pose, Virasana. Tops of the feet flat, toes pointing straight back behind you, weight on the heels. Breath in here, pull the length of the head, nice and tall. Breathe in and out through the nose. Okay, so we'll stand up on our knees now. Take a moment again to feel everything stack right on top of the knees. Hands can come to the waist. This will help with balance a little bit. Place the right foot forward. So you're making a 90-degree angle from the hip to the knee to the ankle. Same thing on the back leg. Now curl your left toes under. Press into your right heel bone and you stand up, top of the mat. Deep breath in, Tadasana. Deep breath out. So we'll reverse that. Right foot's gonna step back, curling the right toes under, lower the right knee softly to the mat, and then step your left knee back into its place. Hips to heels, Virasana. Breath in, breath out. All right, so we're going to now try this with the balance of the block on top of the head. I'm just going to say block because that's what I'm using. So regardless of what you're using at home, your prop on the top of your head. See if you can sit tall and just attempt to balance this thing on top of your head while you're seated. Breath in, breath out. So I'll clarify something right away. This block is definitely going to fall off of your head at some point in time. Just acknowledge that, be aware of it, and let it be okay. You're just trying something new, right? Well, some of you might have tried this with me before. So next step is to inhale, stand up onto the knees. Again, the hands can be at the waist, or if you really want to, maybe your hands are just kind of floating alongside the head to catch the block in case it falls. Either way, see if you can step your right foot forward, make those two 90-degree angles. Curl your left toes under. See if you can stand straight up. Tadasana, top of the mat. Maybe that block is still balanced. Maybe it's fallen off and you need to reset. Breathe in, breathe out. Now this time we're going to step our left foot right back into its place for kneeling down on the left knee. And then nice and slow when you're ready, right knee back into its place. Take a seat, back on the heels. Breathe in, breathe out. Remove the prop from top of the head, set it off to the side. Now we'll start to mobilize the scapula, the shoulder girdle, thoracic spine. Many ways to refer to that area of the back. Come to your forearms. Walk your knees back underneath your hips. So this is going to look like cat and cow on the forearms. So it's a smaller movement because you're just kind of restricting the movement to the upper back. Begin to flex the spine back and forth. And you can let your head and your neck come along for this journey. And certainly utilize the breath. Notice your elbows, if they're starting to slide out to the sides, pin your elbows down right underneath your shoulders. Actively press through your hands, your fingertips. One more time through. Good. So staying on your elbows, extend your right foot behind you, curl the toes under and press down through the ball mound of the right foot. Angle your left hand like right underneath your face and kick your left foot out to the side a little bit. We're going to roll off to a forearm supported side plank as the right arm reaches up and overhead. Well, up towards the ceiling. Breath in here. Breath out. And then come back to center, right knee into its place underneath the hip, right elbow back down. 2 rounds of that thoracic cat-cow. Inhale and exhale. Find that neutral spine as much as you're able. Plug into the elbows. Feel the shoulder blades spreading away from one another. Extend your left foot back, curling the toes under. Keep the left foot in contact with the mat. Angle your right hand in some, so it's like underneath the face. You can kick your right toes out to the side a little bit. As you start to attempt to stack shoulders and hips, supported side plank on the forearm. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. Come all the way back. Left elbow, left knee. Again, 2 rounds of cat and cow. Good, now take a seat back on the heels. Grab your block again, place it on top of the head. We'll attempt to stand up once more. So as soon as you feel that sense of balance, the block on top of the head, see if you can stand up on the knees. Maybe the hands come to the waist. This time we're going to step our left foot forward first. Make those 2 90-degree angles, curling your right toes under. When you're ready, stand on up, Tadasana. Pause there in Tadasana. Feel your tailbone lower. Crown of the head continue reaching tall. Front ribs kind of tuck into the lower pelvis. Breath in. Breath out. We'll step back with the right foot, curling the toes under, soft landing to the right knee, and then left knee back into its place. Lower all the way down to a seat. Breath in. Breath out. You can remove your prop. Come back to the forearms. This time we're going to interlace our fingers to the webbing. So really locking the knuckles together. And you're going to be on the knife edge of your forearm and your hand. Press the floor away around the upper back. And then exhale, let it lower. So this time, see if you can just isolate that movement, that pressure of the shoulder blades reaching for the ceiling and spreading apart and then collapsing in towards the spine. A little bit less cat-cow, more isolation of the scapula. So tailbone's not really moving at all, and the head's not really moving either. Last 2. Last 1. Now we'll release the interlace of the hands, palms pressed down. You have your forearms parallel with one another. Curl the right toes under as you extend the leg back. Angle your left palm underneath your face. Roll to the inner edge of the right foot. Right arm rotates towards the ceiling. You're in your supported side plank on the forearm. Now, if you like to add on to this, you can extend your left leg back so you're in side plank on the forearm. So your left leg has joined that extension party. Breath in. Try not to collapse into your left shoulder. Breath out. Now roll your way all the way back down to forearms and knees. Back through center. Breath in. Breath out. And second side, left leg extends back. Keep the contact with the mat. Right palm angles underneath the face. Rolling the left hip open, left arm reaching. Stay here or extend the right foot back to join that side plank. Press the floor away with the right elbow, forearm, and palm of the hand. Lifting up and out of the shoulder. Breath in. Breath out. Make your way all the way back to forearms, knees. And now let's extend both the legs back, lower the belly down, come into Sphinx. Deep breath in, deep breath out. So in your Sphinx, think about pressing down through the pubic bone, tops of the feet, pulling the heart forward, shoulders relaxed, neck long and neutral. Hold for 2. Last breath here. Press up to elbows and knees. Now you can come up to your hands. Curling the toes under, let's rise on up. Adho Mukha Svanasana, down dog. So as this is your first down dog, let it be exploratory, bending the knees as you need, adjusting your hands, adjusting your feet. Explore the distance and the rotation of the hands. So what do I mean by that? Maybe it's that external rotation of the hands, maybe it's slightly internal. Notice how it feels in your body, because all of our structural systems tend to vary depending on how our bony structure is. Take a few more moments here to draw the awareness to the physical body. Think about snapping the navel back into the spine, reaching the tailbone up towards the ceiling, pressing the floor away with your hands, really strong through the whole length of the arm. And now let your heels be heavy. Breath in, breath out. Inhale, lift the heels, slight bend in the knees. Take the gaze forward, make your way up to the top of your mat. Uttanasana, forward fold. Similarly to your approach to down dog, let it be exploratory, add some movement, be generous with your back body, bending the knees. Let your head be heavy. Two more breaths here. From Uttanasana, Ardha Uttanasana, fingertips to the shins, lengthen the heart forward, press down through your feet. Strong and active through your core. Shoulders as high as the hips, if not higher. Breath in. Breath out to refold. Reverse uncurl the spine, letting the head be the last thing to rise as you come up to Tadasana. Flip the palms to face forward, relax the shoulders away from the ears, breath in, breath out. Your next inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, fold all the way in, Uttanasana. Inhale again, halfway lift. Exhale, right foot steps back, Surya Namaskar, C, moon salute. So right knee lowers to the mat, sweep the arms forward and up. Magnetize your inner thighs together. Take more vertical spine here. Inhale. Exhale, palms down. Step your left foot into downward facing dog. Breath in. Breath out. Inhale, right leg high. Exhale, right foot plants between the hands. Left knee lowers to the mat. As you press the floor away, reach your arms forward and up. Feel your outer thighs squeeze into the midline of the body. Vertical spine here. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. Hands down, frame out that right foot. Step the left foot forward. Coming into Ardha Uttanasana right away. Two straight legs, heart lengthening out. Flat back. Think low cobra. Exhale, fold, Uttanasana. Reverse uncurl the spine, head coming up very last. Tadasana. Palms face forward. Shoulder blades relax. Breath in. Breath out. Second side, inhale, sweep the arms forward and up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, left foot steps right back to low lunge, left knee to the mat. Press the floor away, reach the arms forward and up. Breath in. Breath out. Plant your palms. Right foot steps into downward facing dog. Inhale. Exhale. Left leg, reach it up and back. Exhale, left foot between the hands. Right knee to the mat. Squeezing your inner thighs, pressing through your feet. Stretch the arms forward and up. Breath in. Breath out. Hands come down. Right foot steps forward. Lengthening out through the spine and the legs. Halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Press down through your feet, and one more time, reverse uncurl the spine. Head coming up last, arriving in Tadasana. Palms forward, shoulders relaxed. Breath in. Breath out. Surya Namaskar A. Inhale, arms reach up. Exhale, fold in. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, bend the knees enough to plant the palms. Step into high plank. Lengthen out through the spine, heel bones back, crown of the head forward. Gripping the mat with the hands, strong arms. Set the knees down. Come all the way onto the belly. Walk the wrists back underneath the elbows. Press down to the tops of the feet, the pelvic bone, pubic bone. Inhale, pull the heart forward, lift the chest. Exhale, release the forehead to the mat, dynamic low cobra. Twice more, inhale, heart forward, head lifts. Exhale, lower. One more time. Inhale, shoulders relax down the back as you pull the heart forward. Exhale, lower. Curl your toes under here as the forehead touches down. Your choice, press up to high plank or hands and knees. We'll meet in down dog. Settling into down dog, 3 breath rounds. From downward facing dog, lift your heels, slight bend in the knees, gazing forward. Travel to the top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, refold. Press down through your feet, coming to standing in Tadasana. Palms face forward, shoulders relax. Breath in, breath out. Surya Namaskar B, bending the knees, sinking the hips, Utkatasana. As you stretch your arms forward any amount, let your shoulders shrug up into your ears, but relax your neck. Breath in, breath out. One more inhale here. Exhale to fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, stepping back to high plank. I'll set you free if you'd like chaturanga and up dog. Otherwise, you can come to the knees and the belly. Inhale to another round of low cobra. And your exhale, you're making your way back into down dog. Full breath in your downward facing dog. Full breath out. So Surya Namaskar B, traditionally we just step the right foot forward right away in between the hands. Connect the sole of the left foot all the way to the mat. Press down through both heel bones, bend the right knee as you stretch the arms forward and up. Shoulders are attempting to square forward. Back leg is straight, front leg is bent. Breath in. Maybe you connect your hands overhead, maybe you look up. And breath out, release the palms. Option to take it back through Vinyasa. Option to rest. Downward facing dog, 1 full breath cycle. Second side, warrior 1. We're stepping the left foot forward between the hands. Press down through that heel bone, and the right heel bone presses down as well. Bending your left knee, sweeping your arms forward and up. So back leg is straight, front leg is bent. Shoulders attempt to square forward, reaching the hands up. If you'd like, you can connect the hands overhead, maybe add the gaze. Breath in. Breath out to release, hands down, optional vinyasa. Full breath cycle in downward facing dog. The bottom of your next exhalation will lift the heels, bend the knees, slight gaze forward, transition to the top of your mat. Right away, fingertips to shins, halfway lift, breathe in. Breathe out, fold. Inhale, bend the knees, sink the hips, weight in the heels, stretch the arms forward to lift the chest and the head, Utkatasana. Coming full circle. Press down to your feet, stand tall, reach up. Exhaling your hands to your heart. Pause here, close the eyes. Okay, so we'll take that blueprint of the sequence of Surya Namaskar B, which is what we just did, and we'll add on to that with our vinyasa. So blink the eyes open, bend the knees, sink the hips, sweep the arms forward and up. Breath in, breath out, fold. Step back into high plank, option to move through vinyasa, option to just lift the hips and find down dog. Once you find down dog, full breath round. On your inhale, you're stepping your right foot forward between the hands. Warrior 1. Connect the left heel bone with the mat. Keep that left leg straight as you sweep the arms forward and up. Option to take the hands together overhead, lifting the gaze upward. Breath in. On your breath out, we're opening up into warrior 2. So walk that right foot in towards the midline of the mat. Let the left toes open just a little bit so your back foot's parallel with the back edge of the mat. Sweep the arms out wide. Keep that nice deep bend in the right knee. Breath in. Gaze over your right middle finger, breath out. On your inhale, both arms reach up. Bring your right foot to parallel with your left foot. Inhale here. Exhale, left toes to the back of the mat, warrior 2. Left knee bends, right leg stays straight. Gazing over the left middle finger now. Breath in. On your breath out, listen up. We're gonna circle the hands down so the right palm plants underneath the right shoulder. Your right heel bone's lifting, you're in a low lunge. Your left arm's gonna rotate towards the ceiling. So you're in a simple twist at the back of your mat. Breath in. Breath out. Left hand comes down. Take a quarter turn back to your right. Again, parallel the feet. Hands underneath the shoulders. Then you can begin to walk the hands back between the feet if you like. Imagine like you had little chaturanga arms, bending the elbows. Prasarita Padottanasana. Shifting a little bit more weight into the ball mounds of the feet as the crown of the head Maybe rest on your prop, your book, or your block, or it might come to the floor. I'll show you with the block what I mean. You can see that if my hair is not in the way. Crown of the head to that prop. One more breath here. It's okay if the crown of the head doesn't touch anything. Sometimes the backs of the legs are just a little tight and we're just working with the body wherever it's at. On your breath out, palms walk underneath your shoulders, lengthen out, halfway lift. Take a quarter turn back to the top of your mat, low lunge there. Okay, so we'll step that left foot forward next to the right foot. Bend the knees, sink the hips, find that Utkatasana chair pose. Sweep the arms forward and up. Keep the knees bent. Keep the weight in the heels. Breath in. Breath out, stand tall. Exhale your hands down alongside the body, palms face forward. Pause here, breath in. Breath out. Bend your knees, sink your hips right back into Utkatasana chair pose. Breathe in. Breathe out, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, bend your knees, plant your palms, stepping into high plank. Option to take it through Vinyasa, option to lift the hips right up into down dog. Just taking what you need when you need it. Settling into down dog, at least one full breath cycle here. Second round of our flow, left foot will step forward between the hands. Spin the sole of the right foot down, connect there with that right heel bone, sweep the arms forward and up, warrior one, Virabhadrasana one. Option to connect the hands overhead, maybe you lift the gaze. Breath in. On your breath out, transitioning to warrior two. So that left foot's gonna heel toe into the midline, right toes open up just a little bit, enough for the foot to become parallel with the back edge of the mat as your arms spread out wide. Inhale, gaze over your left middle finger. Exhale, press that left leg straight, sweep the arms overhead. Bring your left foot to parallel with your right foot. On your next exhalation, transition the right toes to point towards the back of the mat, arms wide, bend the right knee, warrior two. Now gaze over your right middle finger. Breath in. On your breath out, circling that left palm down underneath the left shoulder, let the left heel bone lift, low lunge, right arm reaches. Simple twist in your low lunge. Breath in. Breath out, your right hand comes down. You're taking a quarter turn back to your left, feet parallel. Prasarita Padottanasana. So this is one way to get into Shirshasana headstand. I'm not advocating for you to do that right now unless you have a really strong headstand practice, strong neck, you feel comfortable in your body. This is a normal practice for you. But first, this requires the crown of the head to reach the floor with two straight legs. The chaturanga arms are in place. The weight shifts forward onto the ball mounds of the feet. So if you're not quite there yet, you can practice that by stacking props underneath the crown of the head like blocks or books. Let the forehead rest there and just practice that transition of weight forward. So wherever you are, we'll start to release, walking the hands underneath the shoulders, straightening out through the arms and the spine, and then crawling your way off to your left. Left toes point forward, low lunge, top of the mat. We're going to step that right foot forward to meet the left foot. Utkatasana. Bend the knees, sink the hips, lift the chest. Breathe in. Breathe out. Press down through your feet. Stand up nice and tall. Exhale, release your hands to your heart. Pausing here in Tadasana, close the eyes. Breath in. Breath out. We'll move through this Vinyasa flow once more. Breath to movement. We're not moving too quickly. So you let your breath dictate your movement, right? Bend your knees, sink your hips, Utkatasana. Sweep the arms forward. Exhale, fold in. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the hands, high plank. Optional Vinyasa here. In downward facing dog, at least one full breath cycle. When you're ready to inhale next, right foot steps forward. Vira 1, set up your feet, bending your right knee, left leg straight. Maybe you bring the hands together overhead and add the gaze upward. And to your next exhale, open the arms out wide. Right foot becomes more towards the center of the mat. Left foot becomes parallel with the back edge of the mat. Warrior 2. Inhale to gaze over your right middle finger. And exhale, press the right leg straight, sweep the arms high. Right foot becomes parallel. Left toes turn to the back of the mat. Bend your left knee, Warrior 2, looking over that left middle finger. Breath in. On your breath out, circle the right hand down, palm underneath the shoulder, lift your right heel, lift your left arm towards the ceiling. Breath in. Breath out to make your quarter turn into 2 parallel feet. Prasarita Padottanasana. Take 1 full breath cycle here. Just 1 full breath cycle. Then walk your palms underneath your shoulders, lengthen out halfway. Quarter turn back up to the top of the mat, bending your right knee. Stepping your left foot forward right into Utkatasana. Reach the arms, relax the neck. Breath in. Breath out, stand up nice and tall. Exhale your hands to your heart. Pause. Last time through, leading with our left side. First, we'll sink our hips and bend our knees right back into Utkatasana. As you exhale, fold, Uttanasana. As you inhale, halfway lift, Ardha Uttanasana. As you exhale, palms plant, high plank. Optional Vinyasa. Once you arrive into down dog, give yourself a full breath cycle in through the nose, out through the nose or mouth. On your next inhalation, left foot steps forward. Vira 1. Sweep the arms forward and up. Square the shoulders forward. Maybe you connect the hands overhead and lift the gaze. Breath in here. On your breath out, Warrior 2. Position your feet appropriately. Gaze over your left middle finger. Inhale. Exhale, straighten out your left leg. Sweep the arms high. Both feet parallel. And then right toes point to the back of the mat, warrior two, arms spread out, gazing over your right middle finger. Inhale here. Exhale, you're circling your left palm down underneath the shoulder as your left heel lifts and your right arm stretches towards the ceiling. Breath in. Breath out, transition, prasarita, back towards your left a quarter turn, feet parallel, bending the elbows, rock a little bit of weight forward into the feet, and maybe the crown of the head. One full breath cycle here. Take that quarter turn off to your left. Low lunge, top of the mat. Step your right foot forward to meet your left foot. Bend your knees, sink your hips, lift your chest, your head, your arms. Breath in. Breath out to stand tall. Exhale your arms down alongside your body. Palms face forward. See if you can interlace your fingers behind your low back, keeping your elbows bent first. Squeeze your triceps in towards one another. You can either keep the elbows bent, or if it's possible, stretch through the knuckles, straighten out through the arms. Little bend in your knees as you fold forward, hinging from your hips. Keep the shoulders lifted away from the ears. Breath in. Breath out. Release the arms. Plant the palms. Step into high plank. Pause in your high plank. Lengthen out. Set your knees to the mat. Come onto the elbows and forearms. Interlace your fingers to the webbing. Press down through the pinky edge of the palm, the outer edge of the forearm, and the elbow. Curl your toes under, lift your hips, stretch your feet back. Forearm plank. Just a little bit of weight forward towards the arms. Lift your hips up, walk your feet in some. Your head's still lifted, so we're just doing a little bit of shoulder prep. You might remember this from Peacock or Pincha Mayurasana prep, pressing the floor away with the arms. Your head is still free to kind of move about, so you're not attempting to get the head on the ground yet. Breath in here. Breath out, walk your feet back out into that forearm plank. Lengthening out through the spine. Set your knees back to the mat. Take a seat on your hips. Virasana Hero's pose, palms flat on the thighs. Let your eyes just close down for a moment and let the sensation of all of that work wash over you. Now we'll start to move into more of our progression to Shirshasana headstand. Before I invite you to move to the wall, I want to show you this little drill to get this idea of putting weight on the head a little bit more tangible, right? Because it's not something we often do in our daily lives, walk around on our heads or put weight on our heads, right? So that first exercise you remember from the beginning of class, to get you a sense of balance and the alignment of the spine, you can think back to that. And then the key with supported shoulder stand, shalamba, remember shalamba means support, is the interlacing of the fingers to the webbing and creating this little cup. This is going to go right at the very back of the head, so that the top of my head is going to be placed down on the mat. So I have 3 points of contact here: the elbows, the pinky edges of the wrist, and the crown of my head. And so as I create this little support system, I'm going to curl forward, get my elbows down. You can watch this first round if you like. Pinky edges of my hands down, and I'm pressing into the top of my head. So my hands are not underneath my head at all. They're just cupping the back of my head. And what is in contact with the floor again? Just one more time. Elbows, pinky edges of the hands, and the top of my head. Okay, so you might play with just pressing the head down, lifting the shoulders, and then kind of relaxing everything. Really tiny micro movement to press and relax. All right, so let's back out of that for a moment. That's a good exercise to start off with the mobility and the sense of the neck being able and being strong enough to support pretty much the weight of the body. And some of that's offset by the arms too, right? Our shoulders are staying strong, but our neck does need to have that nice alignment. So we will start off by utilizing the wall. If you're going to come upside down, you are not going to kick into headstand. Ever, ever, ever will you kick and use momentum into headstand. When you are bearing weight on your head, you are placing your neck in a little bit more of a compromised position. So we don't want to twist. What happens when you kick? Remember from our handstand practice, the hips tend to twist and that ripples throughout the whole length of the spine. So we're minimizing any jarring of the neck here by working our technique and building our foundation first. Ideally, if you have a corner of the room where two walls meet, I highly recommend using this to help build that alignment and see what it feels like in your body, which is what I'm going to do today since I have these corners that I can utilize. Now, if you don't, that's okay. You can totally just use a wall, close a door, or practice in the center of the room, but you're not coming up side down all the way. So if you need to transition your mat, go ahead. I mentioned having a block. I mean, not a block. I did mention that, but I mentioned having a blanket or a towel. So when we're beginning our headstand practice, the top of the head's gonna get maybe a little like sore from coming upside down. So if you have a nice wide towel or blanket, fold it into a square. You can use this for a little extra padding. So that's, your head's gonna go right in the center of your blanket or towel if you're using that. All right, so I am setting myself up in the corner. You're welcome to join me if that's accessible. If not, just use your wall, totally fine. All right. So that same little exercise we just did, that's how we're gonna start. We found that interlace of the fingers to the webbing. We found those points of contact with the elbow and the edge of the wrist and the top of the head. Let's find that first. So come to your hands and your knees. Then come down to your elbows. Get that nice interlace of the hand. Curl your chin in. Rest the top of the head in that cradle of the hands. The next key thing is to be sure that the elbows don't widen out to the sides. You want to stack them right underneath the shoulders and keep them there. Okay, so from here, don't let the arms move. Don't let the head move. Curl your toes under. Lift your hips up, straighten out to your legs. Now, weight's just going to automatically shift forward here. You can walk your feet forward here. So you'll start to feel the sensation of hips stacking over shoulders, over head. Everything stacks. And then over time, maybe one foot will lift. Maybe the second foot will lift. You could play with just lifting one leg and then the other. And then maybe eventually come all the way upside down. I don't normally do this in the corner, but so if you are coming all the way upside down, here's what I like about this. You have this right angle at the wall so that you can feel the sense of stacking ankles over hips, hips over shoulders, and everything aligning on top of the head. Okay, so if you did come upside down, Take your time to come out. Child's pose with the arms down alongside the body, forehead resting. Breathe here. Option to interlace the hands at the low back, reaching the knuckles away from the spine, shoulders shrugging away from the ears. All right, so come up to a seated position. Shake out wrist and shoulders. I'm going to come close as I talk us through a second round of Shalamba Shirshasana. If you want to take that second round, great. If you don't want to, no big deal. If you're ready for child's pose, take it. Okay, so first, start out with the position of the hands. Interlace the fingers to the webbing. Get the elbows down on the mat, wrist underneath on the mat, right? And then you're cupping the back of the head so that the top of the head is on the mat. So from there, once you've got that position, the head's on the mat. Shoulders are stable, elbows are gonna not go anywhere, your head's not gonna move at all. Curl your toes under and lift your hips up. If possible, you can straighten out through the backs of the legs. And from there, when you're ready for more, now maybe this is where you stay and that's a great place to work, but when you're ready for more, you can walk your feet forward towards your elbows. You'll start to feel this shift of weight move into the top of the head. You'll start to feel your hips over the shoulders. And without kicking up, as the stack starts to happen, one leg might naturally reach up for the ceiling, and maybe you pause there. And you can switch sides with that as many times as you like. Maybe that is your practice today. Or maybe that leg that's lifted is pulling you up into the straight line so much so that the second leg follows. This happens over time. So if it's not today, you are still doing everything right. Now, if you are upside down, just like you would in Tadasana, align your spine. Tailbones tucking towards the backs of the knees. Front of the navel is hugging up into the spine. Feet are reaching towards the ceiling. You have one straight line. Everything's aligned. Pressing the floor away with the elbows. Shoulders are reaching away from the ears. Can you find an even breath here? If you are still upside down in your headstand and it's feeling good, maybe you take 5 more breath cycles. Maybe you're ready to come out. Coming out, go slow. Unless you have an advanced headstand practice, one leg at a time. Then child's pose. So second round of child's pose, forehead resting, arms back, reaching towards your feet. Option to take the interlace of the hands to the webbing and straighten out through the arms. Let's take 3 to 5 breath cycles here. All right, so you can start to come up to a very brief seat. We'll start to transition. If your mat's against the wall, you can transition it back to wherever you were practicing before that. And from here, just for a moment, set your props off to a side. Come down onto your back, bending your knees and planting your feet with your arms, reaching towards your feet. We'll press down through the feet, lift the hips up for bridge pose. Walk the elbows close into the shoulders. Walk the shoulders close into the spine is what I meant to say. And then again, if you'd like, you can interlace the fingers to the webbing and reach the knuckles towards the backs of the heels. Keep your arms straight. Keep the pinky edges of the palms in contact with the mat. Breath in. Breath out. One more inhale here, pressing down evenly through all 4 points of the feet, lifting the hips up. If you have the hands interlaced, release them. Slowly uncurl the spine, tailbone releasing last. Constructive rest. Let your feet walk out a little bit, let your knees draw in. Breath in. Breath out. One more round of back bending. Feel free to take a second round of traditional bridge. If you prefer to take Urdhva Dhanurasana wheel pose, you can do that, or a restorative bridge, sliding a prop underneath the sacrum. Once you're in your bridge, we'll hold for 5 breaths. So let your choice be sustainable for that 5 breath count. If you haven't already, start to count the breaths. From wherever you are, start to ease your way out. Arriving onto the length of the back and the spine, hug the knees into the chest. From here, can you reach up, hook your 2 toes, your big toes with your 2-piece fingers, and then see if you can press your feet up towards the ceiling. Maybe you straighten out for the backs of the legs. Supine Paschimottanasana, hands to feet. Let your shoulders relax. Maybe let your eyes close. From here, if you'd like, you can take your legs wide and then close the legs back together. If this ends up being more like happy baby, great. Feel free to bend the knees. One more breath here in your movement. And then hug the knees back in towards the chest. So give yourself a squeeze, make yourself into a tight, tight, tight little ball. Simple twist, exhale your knees off to the left so that your right hip is on top. Your right arm's reaching wide out to the side. 3 breath cycles. On your next inhalation, everything back through center. You might give yourself a little squeeze. Now we'll transition off to the opposite side, knees to the right, left hip on top, left arm sweeping out to the left side. Settle in, close the eyes, 3 full breath cycles. Start to unwind, make your way back through center. Hips in line with shoulders, head in line with the pelvis. Begin to transition into your final shape, Shavasana, however you'd like to take it. There's always the option for seated meditation or legs up the wall or using any of your props to support your body. Remember, the point is to find stillness, so whatever that means to you. Start to settle in here, shoulders, release them down your back. And chin slightly tilted towards the chest. Breath in through the nose. Open the mouth, exhale the air out. Tongue, gums, teeth, lips, even the jaw relaxes and softens. The eyes close and become heavy. And the flesh around the eyes softens and relaxes. Nothing left to do, just allow yourself to be, coming into a place of reception and willingness to listen. Share with you the words of Mark Nepo on the practice of living slow. Live slow enough, and there's only the beginning of time. Follow anything in its active being, a snowflake falling, ice melting, a loved one waking, and we are ushered into the ongoing moment of the beginning, the quiet instant from which each breath starts. What makes this moment so crucial is that it continually releases the freshness of living. The key to finding this moment and all its freshness again and again is in slowing down. Often, when we are inconvenienced, we are being asked to slow down. When we are delayed in our travel or waiting for a check in a restaurant, We are being asked to open up and look around. When we find ourselves stalled in our very serious and ambitious plans, we are often being asked to re-find the beginning of time. Unfortunately, we are so high-paced, running so fast to where we want to be, that many of us are forced to slow down through illness or breakage. In this, we are such funny creatures. We could see ourselves from far enough away. We would seem like a colony of insects running into things repeatedly. Thousands of little determined beings butting into obstacles, shaking our little heads and bodies, and running into things again. Like the earth that carries us, the ground of our being moves so slowly, we take it for granted. But if you should feel stalled, numb, or exhausted from the trials of your life, simply slow your thoughts to the pace of cracks widening. Slow your heart to the pace of the earth soaking up rain, and wait for the freshness of the beginning to greet you. You have more time to spare. Stay in Shavasana or meditation as long as you can afford. You need to move on with your day. Start to bring awareness back to the body and the breath. Have gentle movement of fingertips and toes, head side to side. On an inhale, sweep the arms up and overhead, breathing into the length of the body. If you're on your back, on your exhale, rolling off to a side. Take a pause in fetal position. Continue into your hands. Rise up to a comfortable seated position. Feel your sits bones root. Feel your spine grow tall. Feel your shoulders relax. Join the hands together at the heart. Begin to rub the palms together, creating a sensation of heat and friction between right and left palm. Rubbing the hands a little bit quicker until your hands feel really warm. Place the hands and cup them over the eyes. Feel that rush of energy, sensation move from the hands into the brain, down the spine, re-energizing. From here, blink the eyes open 2 times, hands still over the eyes. Bring your hands back together at the heart. Bow the chin to the chest. To close our practice today, singing the sound of Om together 1 time. Breath in to begin. Namaste, yogis.